We met in law school 60 years ago.
Yeah.
And at that time, there were 150 men in our class at Yale and 6 women.
Yes. It was a very competitive environment, but I won the competition, and there we were, so we got married. We raised the family in the Bethesda area, where we lived for about 23 years. When the nest emptied and the children left on their own, we moved out to North Potomac, not far from here, and lived there, interestingly enough, for 23 years. Must be a magic number. And at that point, we began thinking about our future retirement years.
We were very happy in our house.
Yes.
We loved our house.
Yeah.
It had a first-floor master suite. It was great for old people. But we realized if we couldn't drive, we'd be stuck.
We'd be isolated geographically.
We'd be isolated geographically, so we started looking around.
Right.
And when we found out about Ingleside, we looked at a plan of an apartment, and it looked beautiful to us. But of course, it wasn't built.
No.
So, nevertheless, we invested 2 years before it was built.
I think that's about right. We became one of the early investors from the floor plans. And if anything, we found since we moved in that it far exceeded the expectations that we built.
We also didn't realize when we were living in the house how much we missed contact with people. How many people have we met since we got here?
Well,
at least 100.
No, it's probably that the problem is remembering names, of course. This is a community where people with different backgrounds are moving into something, sort of sharing a pioneering experience, if you will, coming in at the same time. And as a result, you find a very high level of cooperative spirit among all the people here. They're really enjoying their stay here. Now, this is among the people who have moved in. What we also find is that no matter what our concerns are about anything, there's an eagerness here to really be problem solvers. What can we do to make it even better for you, which is the approach that they have here to the residents, and we can feel this in everything that we do. So the comfort level is very high. And this has been a very major benefit, I think, of our experience since we've moved in here a little over a year. This had the combination of the design for the facility itself and the convenience of its location. There are shuttle buses here that go continuously right to the Shady Grove metro station. Although we are walkers, it's a mile and a quarter, I think, but we have no trouble walking there all the time. In addition, there is a Safeway right here in the village center, which is fine.
Very interesting. We walk an hour every day, either outside or inside, or at a mall. And we have observed when we walk around King Farm, every residence that we encounter says hello, smiles, good morning, good afternoon, whatever. This doesn't happen in other places as a rule. When we walked around our old neighborhood.
Well, when we walked around our old neighborhood, had become mostly a bedroom community where both parents were out working all day. And we had already retired, and there were just no adults around to see. It was a very quiet neighborhood in the daytime, and you didn't have that sense of community that you get not only in Ingleside itself, but within the overall King Farm facility.
We didn't want something to happen so that somebody would, our children of course, would have to move us someplace and take care of all of the downsizing that is involved in this move. We lived in a big house, and the funny part of it is that we had to persuade our children to move their stuff out of our basement.
Of course, they could no longer store their things with it. But actually, we had a 2-year period to plan for the move itself, which gave us the opportunity to go through that downsizing very systematically. And there was no pressure, because, well, we've always been planners, if you will. We didn't have to make the move when we did. But looking ahead rather than backward, we decided it's time to move on to another stage in our lives. And one of the nice things about this kind of community, the so-called continuing care communities, it's not a matter of having a retirement community or whatever that is, and then if you have a medical problem, you have to find another place to go. You have this opportunity for continuing care. And this was one of the attractive features of this kind of a place, that people should not put off the planning for the next stage in their own lives. They should take advantage of facilities, whether it's Ingleside or similar facilities that are available, but they should do these things while they're in a position to make the decisions for themselves. And in that way, they can make their best choices, I think.
And they'll have the gratitude of their children.